Welcome back. Today we're going to be going over all of these melee weapons and just how effective they actually are in battle. So we are in a fighting ring here, and I have selected the opponent we're going to be testing them on, and it is this training dummy Pengullet. Now where I am, you can see the little ears there. So Anubis, he's right over there. I'm just in this desert area up here. I thought this would be a very good spot for a fighting ring where we can't be distracted. Negative 128, negative 130. So we're going to test out all the weapons on him. And they're not going to be the actual numbers you will get in real combat against actual pals. But it'll give you an idea of how effective they're going to be and how much difference some of the weapons can actually be. Like how far apart the damage numbers are. So, without further ado, let's get started. The torch has an attack power of 10, the wooden club has an attack power of 25, and the bat has an attack power of 50. So, with your fists, you're doing, 18, 19 damage. Take the wooden club, which is one of the first ones you get, doing like 40 damage. Bat, you're doing about 80 damage, so you're doubling. But the torch, you're doing like 16 damage. So that's comparable to the 18 of your fists. So really, the handheld torch damage-wise does not do anything, really. You're better off using your fists. But what it does is it helps with your capture rate. Because any status effects, like burning, increase your chances of catching. The stone axe has an attack power of 20, metal axe 30, and refined metal axe 60. So that actually doubles, 20 to 30 and then 30 to 60. So with the stone axe, you're doing like 30, give or take. The metal axe 50, and the refined metal axe 90. So that's quite a big jump. The stone pickaxe has an attack power of 20, the metal pickaxe has an attack power of 30, and the refined metal pickaxe has an attack power of 60. Axe, you're looking at 33, give or take, 34, 31. Metal, 46, 52. Refined metal, 97. So we haven't broken 100 yet, but it seems like the refined metal is right at that 100 mark. So the stone spear, looking at 50. So spears are much better than axes, which are used for wood chopping, or the pickaxes, which are used for mining, because this one's actually designed for hitting people. So we're looking at 50s. The metal spear, looking at 118, so around 120, but you get a variance. And then the refined metal, you're looking at 400, 500, 460. So about 550 to 600 on average. And it's only got an attack power of 310. Then the metal spear is 80. And the stone spear is 35. So that is the biggest jump we've seen so far. But now we're going to toss in Elsby's spear, or Elizabeth's. And you can see we're looking at 250 on average. Not as much of a variance, but it still has a variance. And Lily's spear, which you need ancient technology for, you're looking at 750, 760, 720, 680. So much higher. Yeah, so Lily's spear has an attack of 450, and the refined metal spear has 310. And the refined metal, 530. And Lily's spear, 700, 800. So it's an extra 300 attack, even though it's really like just over 100 attack power better. Now the meat cleaver really does no damage at all, and it has an attack power of 25. Now the sword, you have to be a lot closer for, and it is a little bit better than Lily's spear, but not significantly. So if I put them together here, I'm looking at 450 to 525. So it's not really that much more attack, but you have to be right on top of them, right? Where a Lily spear, you have, the spears are have such a better range compared to everything else that we've tested so far. Like, this is a long sword too, but it's just doesn't do doesn't have that range. And the last thing we have is the stun baton, which again has an attack of 10, or attack power of 10, which again is doing like 15, 16 damage. But just like the torch, it counts as a status effect, so it helps to capture pals. So if you use the handheld torch and the stun baton, hit both of them, you can get them low and have a much better chance of catching them. So for instance, if this has 50,000 health, for me to get it down to 40 health or 30 health, if I were to be using these batons, I could get it much lower safely without risking killing it. I've been told that the sword is one of the best mining tools in the game, so I wanted to put it to the test. So first, we're just going to punch it, doing 14, 15. It's not really worth it. Then the lily spear, we're doing about 400 per hit with the variance, sometimes lower, sometimes higher. And the sword, we're doing over 400 per hit. Every single hit, it appears. So it is definitely faster than using the using lily sphere. But for the pickaxe, the thing that's actually made for mining, it seems to be a little bit better than the sword, honestly. So I guess the sword isn't quite the best thing to use, but there is two more things I wanted to try out. So the first thing is if we take the rocket launcher, you're gonna get it in one hit, all your sulfur. That was 2 mines just taken out. So is the sword really the best? I don't think so. I think the rocket launcher's the best. But if you don't have the rocket launcher, they also just upped Digtois's ability. So if we run him, he takes it out basically just as quick. So your choices, I suppose, are... Oh, I'm getting just annihilated. So your choices, I would say the rocket launcher or the pickaxe if you really want to go mining that way. Or you could just use a pal. Preferably my Digtois here. I'll show you. I made it in my last video. It's a 4-star Digtois. And that is how you're going to get the most use out of Digtois. You need to level them up to 4 stars. Otherwise, you're not going to get the proper damage done per hit. Now we're going to go over the damage numbers. So your fists are doing a base 20 damage. The club is doing 40. The bat, 80. The torch is 16, so it's actually less than your fists. The stone axe is 30. The metal axe is 50. And the refined metal axe is 95. The pickaxe is 33. The metal pickaxe is 50. And the refined metal pickaxe is 95. The stone spear is 55. The metal spear is 125. And the refined metal spear is 510. The Elizabeth staff is 250. Lily spear is 710. The meat cleaver is 40. The stun baton, same as the torch, is 16. And the sword is 850. So the top performer there is the sword at 850, followed by Lily spear at 710. Those are just averages. They're not going to be doing those numbers every hit. If you're using them on different pals, they have different defense stats, so the numbers are going to be different. But at 850 to 710, the next highest is the refined metal spear at 510. So if you want to use a melee weapon, stick with the spears as they do the most damage up until you can get the sword. But then it's preference because you have to be so close with the sword. It does do a little bit more damage though, so that's, completely up to you. But in my next video, we're going to be going over all of the ranged weapons and we're going to compare them with the melee weapons and see what outperforms what, and see if you actually want to use a gun or a melee weapon. So, I'll see you all in the next one.